Yellowstone fans got one half of the answer about Jamie and his father's involvement in the attack on the Duttons and the Yellowstone Ranch. The other half is coming into focus too, but I'm going to stop just short of saying we know who hired the guy, who hired the guys that shot John, bombed Beth, and went after Kayce.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're like 4 levels deep in this thing. It's like that Leonardo DiCaprio movie Inception. I'm Billy Dukes, and episode 4 of Yellowstone packed drama into a very tense meeting between Beth and Markwood Equities. I had to rewind that scene like 3 times to figure it out. Then things in the bunkhouse boiled over in a big way.
You're fucking singing now, are you?
I swear I saw that blonde woman Laramie even take a swing at Lloyd. Yep, there she is. And Rip opened up more about what I think is the show's most interesting unknown, Rip. If you've not recently binged all 3 seasons like me, you may be left wondering why Beth literally gave him a birthday. That part is real important, but let's begin with Riggins, who we now know as T. Riggins. There are some things the show's not going to tell you, but first tap subscribe because we're here each week providing unique insight and analysis. I'll also use this moment to promote the new Dutton Rules podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. That's where the conversation gets real deep. Links are in the description section. Something important happened early on in episode 4 that brought the story of Riggins forward.
Who's this? That's the man hired to kill us.
Did you hear it?
That's the man hired to kill us.
John shows Kayce the file that Rainwater gave him during the last episode, saying this is the guy who was hired to attack them. That's why we're at 4 levels deep. It started with unknown assailants and then became something this guy, the party planner, was in charge of. He said he was hired by Riggins, who was in turn hired by, not ready for that part yet. Riggins is actor Bruno Amato, who has been in 100 or so major and minor productions playing similar roles. The TLDR story on him is he's a Navy veteran, thank you for your service, sir, an animal lover, and a Democrat running for the U.S. House of Representatives in California. That's all in real life. He's also a pretty spicy social media follow. We know this because we're Twitter buddies now. Hi, Bruno! I'm going to fast forward to the end and glance over one pivotal scene where Kayce is sent to feel out Jamie to see whose side he's on. The idea is, if Jamie will request files on Riggins and agree to do the interview, he's Team Yellowstone. If not, he's probably going to get a snake to the face real soon.
Will you do it? Of course I'll do it.
Yes! It was a long pause, but Jamie is on the good guy's side. But when he gets the file, he starts looking at T. Riggins' cellmates and sees one name. Oh boy. Garrett Randall is his birth dad, y'all. And they were boys a decade ago. This is the part of the show where I eat my hat for being dead wrong about Garrett. In a recent video, I defended him for saying it was our bias against convicted criminals trying to rehabilitate themselves that led us to believe he did it, not anything he did or said. I even said I'd have beers with him. It would seem that I was as wrong about him as I was when I defended Barry Bonds 20 years ago. True story. But you know what? I'm gonna double down. 2 things. Whoever ordered the attacks needs to have a ton of money, and Garrett looks pretty broke. And also, we're only at episode 4. That's way too soon to play all the power cards. I think he's more of a puppet than puppet master. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments or at staff@tasteofcountry.com. I can take it. After Kayce returns from a visit with Jamie, he's feeling good about life and decides to make a change. This was a sweet moment that contrasted the ugly from the end of season 3. You may recall Monica told him, "I hate you," before Kayce can even finish suggesting that they pack up and move to her grandfather's on the reservation.
I was thinking we could go to your grandfather's place for a while until we can find another place close to her.
I mean, if that didn't make you smile, you're just not capable. Tate even seemed pretty plucky about it all, so off we go, leaving Carter as the sole adolescent of the ranch. That is, if you don't count the childish behavior in the bunkhouse. Let's travel back to the end of episode 1 when John asked the Wranglers how it was working out with all the pretty women living there.
Can someone explain to me how this whole deal's working out?
Oh, that. You know, that's what you call a constant state of evolution.
It was odd, right? Before, when none of them were kissing and hugging, it was fine, but now Mia's with Jimmy, Teeter and Kobe, Laramie and Lloyd, Laramie and Walker. Yeah, we all knew Walker and Lloyd were going to fight, and after Walker tries to offer him some of Teeter's son-of-a-bitch stew, long story, this happens.
You wanna fucking dance, old man?
Thumbs up this video if you thought Lloyd got a little bit too much of the blame here. Walker just gets a stern talking to, but Rip storms in and says, "God damn you for making me do this." And then he just pummels the old man. Longtime fans know if you want to fight on Yellowstone, you fight Rip. That's what got Fred in trouble during season 1. He tried to fight Jimmy but caught Rip instead and eventually was tossed to the train station. I really felt for Lloyd here. It happened after John dressed him down for how he handled the cattle. This felt like a part of a book that I read my kids on occasion. It's called Hop on Pop. Lloyd is sad. Very, very sad. He had a bad day. What a bad day Lloyd had. In my opinion, the storyline isn't done yet. I'm actually a little bit afraid of how Lloyd ends up. Let's just say I'm not buying his stock. Beth's new job and Rip's mystery are coming, but first a break to stretch and type in a question if you've got one. Drop it in the comments and I'll respond. Y'all have really shared some great information that I didn't know, including information on the real train station that I'll have soon. Like this video to show you appreciate this analysis, and back into it we go. Early on in the episode, Beth took a meeting with Carolyn Warner from Market Equities, who proved she's not afraid of Beth's attitude.
The big dog is off the porch now, Beth, and I will tear you to fucking pieces.
Quick summary of this is Carolyn wants Beth to oversee all development of the Market Equities projects in Montana. In exchange, she'll lay off the Dutton land and give Beth controlling interest in Schwartz & Meyer, Beth's old employer. Beth really wants to bankrupt her old boss Bob for not being there for her. I gotta admit, I don't really see what she sees when it comes to Bob. I mean, the dude lives out of state. How could he have helped? More interesting to me is Beth's scene with Rip later, where she learns he doesn't know his own birthday, giving him a new one of September 28th. You can file that away for the useless Yellowstone trivia test. The reason he doesn't know?
When I said to you that there's no proof of my existence, I meant it.
This goes back to season 3, episode 7, The Beating, when Beth proposes and Rip says he can't legally marry her because he doesn't exist, which goes back to how he found his way to the ranch. If you recall, he hid there as a teen after killing his father, a man who beat his mother and his brother to death. Rip, if that is his real name, was a missing person, and John Dutton never reported them, likely because he knew that it'd be nothing but trouble for the boy. Can I just take a second to pitch another Yellowstone spinoff that we're all wanting? Josh Lucas stars as 30 or 40-something-year-old John Dutton in an action that took place in the late 1990s. Realistically, we're never going to get all these plot pieces filled in, but I'd love to know how Rip came up to be who he is today. Thumbs up this video if you're with me. I mean, if we get to like 100,000 likes, they gotta listen to us, right? For more on episode 4 and 5, be sure to check out Dutton Rules, a Yellowstone 1883 podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Links are in the description, or just Google it. Subscribe to this YouTube channel for more, and hit the notifications bell as well. I'm Billy Dukes. Thanks for watching.